Worship guitar is changing. It's becoming more of a supportive role. And before you hear that as bad news, it's not. What's actually happening isn't a loss of any bit of importance. It's actually a shift of responsibility. And how you respond to it will either deepen your perspective and your ability to be a vessel, or it will quietly drain your joy. Right now, a lot of worship guitarists could be standing in a true fork in the road: adapt or become bitter. Look, let's just say this out loud. Modern worship music has changed. Guitar during congregational worship used to be a pretty highly featured role. Big intros, big parts, big sounds, big moments. Which for some of us, that probably still feels true, but it has changed. Now, well, pads are constant, tracks are normal and encouraged. MDs are calling tighter shots. Arrangements are mostly locked in through programming and tracks. And then you have the guitar. More often than not, it's there to support, not really lead or be so predominant. That doesn't mean our guitar is unimportant, though. It is. We all know that it can provide a massive lift to a song or section. But it does mean it's no longer this sort of center of gravity. And for some players, that hurts. Most frustration, in my opinion, isn't even really about music. Most is rooted in our sense of identity if we're able and willing to look at ourselves in the mirror first. You practiced, you invested, you built many sounds across several songs in a set list, and sometimes those songs change and the keys change. And now the parts are actually simpler, the space is actually tighter, the lane that we're in, and our moments are smaller and our interludes get cut in half. If your sense of value and worth was tied to how much you were heard, then this shift is going to feel like a massive hit. And that's where that bitterness actually begins. It starts very quiet, in the dark. We put a mask on it so that no one sees because we don't want the invites on Planning Center to not come. But here's the truth. Feeling that doesn't make you immature, it actually just makes you human. And what actually matters is what you do next. Here's the reality of the MD culture. Music directing didn't rise to suppress us. It wasn't ever about control. At least the good ones have that perspective. It was about cohesion. Good MDs, they're carrying transitions, vocal clarity, overall flow, consistency week to week to week. That requires musicians who are adaptive, attentive, flexible, and humble, and also secure in what they can bring. That is not a lower calling. That's actually a higher one. That's a trusted one. They're not trying to erase you. If anything, they're just trying to remove just a little bit of chaos and keep sounds big throughout a set list, making sure that we get to sections together with all the right kind of dynamics, making sure that it's not a bunch of individuals trying to do whatever we want. We're trying to just do something together. If anything, there should be uniting the team. So that requires musicians who listen in order to adapt and trust the process and trust their MDs, and not players who need the spotlight just to feel useful. We need good MDs and have trust in those musicians and in us as EGs. Pads and tracks are not the enemy. I remember when it first got introduced in my journey, there was that feeling of, hold on now, is this out to replace me? Is this going to be like the new thing? And I realized that over time, it didn't kill the idea of guitar's role in worship music. If anything, it actually exposed something. They exposed who can play with restraint, who understands texture, who knows how to sit just right in the mix and also in their lane. Supporting roles require a lot of things, but one of them is maturity. It takes more discipline to play one note well and hold the space, stay locked into the grid, and serve without any sense of recognition or that wow response. If anything, that's not regression, that's actually growth as a guitarist, musician, and especially as a worship volunteer in this space and in this era of the tracks and pads. The players who are thriving the most didn't fight this shift, and as a matter of fact, they probably were one of the first ones to really actually lean into it. They mastered the art of ambient support and textures, knowing when to play and when not to play, studied the arrangements, and they served the vocals and not their own ego. Their confidence came from knowing, I make this team better, I make those around me better, and as a matter of fact, I don't want the spotlight, I want to be just outside of it and pointing at the thing that's in the spotlight, which should always be Jesus. That brings people to a posture of worship, including ourselves, throughout the room. Here's an anchoring thought. A supporting role does not mean reduced purpose. Here's what I want you to get out of this. Everyone has a big want. It's the little wants that get in our own way. MDs, they may want some things differently than each individual electric guitarist, but we are all chasing after one big want. We all want Jesus. We want His name to be glorified. We want to lift His name up. We all want to give God all the attention, all the glory, and all the praise. That's the big want. It always seems like the little wants that distract us and get us off our way. If your worth comes from serving well and as humbly as possible, then this shift will refine you in a huge way. Here's the key distinction. Support role does not mean it's a meaningless role. We can either accept it or get bitter about it. It's really our call. This is the crossroads, and this is actually a good thing. You can resist the shift, complain about tracks, resist the MDs, or you can adapt, mature, deepen, become more indispensable. One path leads to bitterness, and the other one leads to longevity. Your role is not disappearing. It's being refined. It's become even more intentional. And here's the truth. The players who last, they won't be the flashiest, and they won't be the loudest. They'll be the ones who understood first who they are in the eyes of God, and that just serving well matters more than being featured. Don't miss what this season of the music and structure might be trying to teach you. There's always going to be room for growth, to push ourselves on a newer way of thinking or doing something. There's so much joy and honor to be had in getting to do this. We just have to get out of our own way sometimes. Your role didn't get smaller, it didn't get suppressed, it got reshaped, it got more intentional. It's now part of the whole room, and that is nothing compared to what we're going to see in heaven.